Hey, what is up, DCS crew? It is July 18th. This is day number 18 of my pocket real estate. I'm doing a knife a day for the month of July. Wow. I'm surprised that I haven't had accidentally done a duplicate, to be completely honest, because I'm switching through so many, and plus I have stuff that I'm reviewing because I'm pocketing those as well. But in any case, this is one that deserves a lot of praise, because in all honesty, this is actually the knife that started it all for Daily Carry Solutions as a channel. So let me go ahead and tell you a bit about this guy right here, and that is the Kizer Basalt. Okay, and for those of you who don't know, actually, hold on, let me turn off my fan. Sorry about that. I had to turn off my fan because I noticed it flapping in the reflection of the blade. For those of you who don't know, the Kizer Basalt is a knife that's been around for a little more than 2 years. It was released by Kizer, and this is actually what it looks like on one side, and this is the other. Let me put that down for a moment. And just to kind of explain a little bit about this knife, this is S35 VN steel. It's a stonewashed blade, very nice milled clip. There's a lot going on in this knife that I will get into a little bit of detail for, but this is what actually started me with not only the channel, but with, dealing with reviews and content creation with different companies. This was one that was given to me by a representative over at Kizer. And this is actually what started my working a lot with Kizer. If you noticed on the channel, every now and then I get some really cool prototypes and I get some new stuff. I've probably reviewed more Kizer knives than any other knife brand. And it's not because, I'm just buying their stuff and I'm just a Kizer shill. It's not. It's just they've been one of the companies that have really helped invest in the growth of this channel. Not only the employees, but just the people. They've been really nice to me. So let's go ahead and get started and look at this one. This is the Kizer Basalt. This is the lock side, front, presentation side, the rear, top, and bottom. You can see it's very nicely centered. This is one of the few knives that I actually used as my mule for my KME as well. That's why it has the working edge. It's a pretty crappy edge, but I mean, it is what it is. This was one of the first ones that I did using my KME. The scales actually have like kind of this coating on it, and I don't know what it is, but it's been really durable. I've had it for a very long time. Well, not a long time, but I've had it a little bit more than 2 years, and I've been using it quite a bit. And I mean, it hasn't faded. It hasn't really done anything. The blue anodized backspacer in the back is titanium, and it has lasted quite some time. It does have a lanyard for the lanyard attachment. It is tapped for left and right. Left and right tip up carry. And believe it or not, this clip actually rides surprisingly well in the pocket. Okay, as you can tell, it's one of the older models, because one thing that Kizer ended up doing was, after a little bit and after listening to people's feedback, they started switching from these little swirly pivots, which were a real pain in the ass to open, by the way. They switched them to something like this, which is more in the Vanguard series. But besides that, it's running on ceramic bearings, and it is milled titanium on the inside. You can see that they've actually cut some, they've actually lightened it quite a bit. Let me see if I can get that in the camera here. You can see there, you can see some holes there. All right. Did they do that? Yeah, they also did that on the other side as well. So not only on the show side, but on the lock side, they actually did that. Okay. So the thing about this, there's like this really cool looking swedge that kind of like goes from here all the way to the back. Nice flat grind. The jimping that is not too harsh, but it grabs your hand. And these little parts right here that actually help kind of get the meat of your fingers down in there to kind of solidify it. And it has a little bit of a curve. This reminds me a lot of kind of like that knife that would have been right in the middle, kind of the Goldilocks of like the ZT 0450 and the 0452. In fact, A knife that I really wanted to get for a long time was, if I'm not mistaken, it's the Giant Mouse. I want to say it's the GM3 or the GM4 series, one of the two. The one that's like very, very slick looking. I think it's the GM3. It's very gentlemanly like. And I always told myself I was going to get it, but I had this and I kept using it and I kept using it and I forgot about it altogether. So that was the knife. This is the knife that made me forget other knives. And it's that says something, you know. It was styled in such a way that even with the curvature here for the flipper, which is kind of prominent, it does not even touch you when it, when you put your hands into the pocket. I mean, the action has always been fantastic. This is where I learned how to thumb flip. And yeah, it's just been overall, like size wise, the blade shape, everything has been something that was one of the really good quality like knives that set the standard for me in the channel. And I told myself I would never, ever sell this particular knife. So just to compare it to a couple of things, this is the Hogue Deca right here. This is the CJRB Centros. What else do we have here? We have the Tangram Vector, the subsidiary from Kizer. Let's see, speaking of Kizers, didn't I have, oh yeah, here we go. This is the Kizer Sovereign. And we got another Kizer here around here, don't we? Oh yeah, you've seen this guy around quite a bit. This is the Kizer Rogue. SOG Terminus XR. Whoop. And last but not least, I'll go ahead and throw in an American here. This is the Benchmade North Fork in G10. North Fork in G10. Wow, okay. I'm telling you, something new. I'm doing like a blooper in every video. I think I'm going to have people count the bloopers, and if they get the number right, I'll probably give them a prize. So, yeah, I mean, this knife, it still sells on, Blade HQ, Knife Center, all these places with Kizer. And it sells pretty well from what I've been told by the people over at Kizer. But the truth is, I think that this is just one of those that it doesn't get the limelight that it deserves. I mean, they have the Vanguard line, and they have things like the Beg Letter, and the Domain, and the Sheepdog, the Sheepdog, yeah, the Sheepdog. And, they have the Laconico designs, they have the Jason Lundquist designs. There's a slew of new designers that are actually out, with new releases and stuff. Carlos Elsner being one of them, Gage, and a couple of others. But this is one that has always stood the test of time for me. And I've always felt like, okay, this is something that I could wear, in my jeans. I can put it in my pocket, whatever. And it was tough enough to be able to do the jobs I needed it to do. It was a nice frame lock. And I mean, just, S35VN steel, stonewashed, took a fantastic edge and reprofiled very easily. But aside from that, this was one of these knives that made me really like titanium. It doesn't have that kind of raw titanium look that you see on some knives. And I'm very thankful for that, because I'm not really big on just titanium, This one in particular I like because it has these little holes that are driven in to be able to go ahead and hold the meat of your hand. And Dirk makes badass knives, so of course I was going to get that. But this one in particular has this coating, which I thought was really cool. And yeah, this is just something that I could wear, if I was putting on dress pants to work, if I was putting on jeans for casual Friday, if I was going out on a date with my girlfriend, if I was just hanging out with the boys. I mean, it is what it is. So, I mean, this is something that really did it all. And I wish that it would have gotten a lot more attention than it did. And it didn't, unfortunately. But regardless, this is something that not only it's one of the nicest knives that I thought, design-wise, but that Kizer came out with. But this is one that they gave me for the start of the channel. And if you look back, I'm serious. That was one of the very first knife reviews, if not the first knife review that I had on the channel. And because of that, this is one that is always going to be a staple of Daily Carry Solutions. And it's one that I'm never, ever, 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 not ever going to sell. So there you have it, folks. This is going to be today's pocket real estate. Figured I'd do something special and take it all the way back to right at the very beginning. And just remember, guys, whether it's the Kizer Basalt or something USA made like the Hogue Deca, just remember, guys, if you EDC, think of DCS. I'm Carlos. You've been great. And big shout out to Brian from Slicey Dicey. He's got the Rona, but, you know, he's doing his thing. He's trying to get better. And in the meantime, you know, we're sending him jokes and we're sending him well wishes in the form of petty insults because, you know, he's a comedian. He's got tough skin and he needs to listen to that shit. So it makes him feel better. So if you have a chance, go ahead and check out Slicey Dicey's channel and just, you know, shoot him a quick comment on his Instagram, you know, a joke or something funny. And he'd really appreciate that. That being said, take it easy, guys. I will see you tomorrow.